This now. We are going to jump right in. We are in a series on follow-up. And last week, of course, we had our conference wrap up, but the week before that, we did part one of the follow-up, and we're going to finish. It's all based on the book here called How to Follow Up. Doesn't get any simpler than that. Thank you, Edie, for that laugh. You know, it's easy. I don't care where we are in this business. It's easy not to follow up. And would anyone agree with me on that? Or does anybody in here not have a problem following up?
I don't.
Good. Okay. Before we move on, Edie, give us your secret. What is it that, and I have noticed that about you. What is it that makes you quick to follow up?
I mean, I just want to communicate with everybody, see how they're doing with the products. And then, but prospects, I'm literally, I go off Karen Farrell's, 6 times, like she said, 6 times follow up. So I do think that's important, that we cannot give up. So to follow up with even the prospects. Yesterday, I sent everybody that Dr. Mitra Ray, I sent everybody that Zoom meeting, even customers and prospects. Like Teresa is a new prospect. Tara's sister, I sent it to her. So, I told you before, my problem is going out and meeting with people, but probably this week I'm going to join with One Life Fitness so I can meet more people, because that is my main problem. I don't go out and see many people. And then when I do at the grocery stores, I give them the cards, I talk to them about people, I'm all about this is healing, so I don't know. Sometimes I just want to broadcast it throughout the whole neighborhood. God, this is so healing, but like my sister said, she's on it. My cousin's on it. They're all doing really great now. And sorry, I'm taking up time, but they're all doing really good. And, they're at their 8th week and 9th week. And it's like, now they're seeing a huge difference. I said, oh my God, wait till you get to 14th week. I mean, I'm glad they're doing great. My sister too, she's like, Edie, this really, Tara, her joint. So if people only knew it is the pharmaceuticals, that is the poison. And if we could just get people off of that, but that's no different than being brainwashed in other areas. So sorry about that. But no, I think it's important to follow up. Just, it's like cold calling. I used to always love cold calling and going out and meeting new people. So, it's a little bit different now that I'm older and, but I do need to go. I'm joining that to meet more people.
Good. I love the fact she's got a plan for building her network. If a small network is your issue, sometimes it's the follow-up, sometimes it's the actual network itself. So way to go, Edie. All right, we're going to jump in and we're going to talk a little bit more about this follow-up process of, not only just following up with that person, but how do we, kind of back to your point, Edie, when you're following up with people, if we do it right, we will be able to tap into their network of people as well. And so that's kind of what I want to talk to a little bit about today. So we're going to jump in and let me get us queued up here. All right, so we're going to jump into, I need to go back a few. All right, so what stops us sometimes from the follow-up process? So I want you to, as we kind of write these down, if you're like, oh, that's me, or no, typically there's at least going to be one of these things, I think, that holds us back. So I want to hear from you guys at the end, which of these areas holds you back when it comes to following up with people? Number one is just procrastination. And we got anybody on here as a procrastinator? So sometimes it's just sheer procrastination. And I will have to say, I'm not typically a procrastinator, but when it comes to working out, I am. And I picked up this book, and as I was reading it, he was talking about creating mini habits if procrastination is your issue. And when I read that, it suddenly brought to memory, I had this conversation at Christmas time. A friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while, and we ended up at a Christmas party together, and she'd lost a lot of weight. And I was like, Stacy, you look phenomenal. You've lost weight. Tell me, what are you doing? And she looked at me and she said, I just made up my mind I was going to work out every day, even if it was only for 4 minutes. And I just started laughing. I said, 4 minutes, just 4 minutes. And she goes, that's what I had to tell myself to get myself down in that basement working out. And as crazy as that statement sounded to me, I literally, it was incredible. And it came back when I read that, many habits. And I started implementing that 4 minutes that usually I'd be like, oh, I don't have enough time, or I've got to get a shower, or blah, 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 whatever my excuse was. And that the thought of, well, if I just go in and do 4 minutes, well, you know, as well as I do, if you start for 4 minutes, you're in there, you'll do 30 minutes. And I thought that was, as dumb as it sounded when I heard it, it is actually brilliant. And that's kind of what he talked about. If procrastination is your issue, create many habits that bring you to wherever you have to be to follow up with people. So if it is, I'm not going to do XYZ until I follow up with one person that I connected with yesterday or whatever day, whatever it is, create a mini habit to break the procrastination. The next thing, anybody on here, is it fear that holds you back? Like, you can talk to people all day long, but then you don't like following up for fear of rejection. And he talked about, and I thought this was, again, a kind of an interesting thing, ask for a referral. I'm like, ask for a referral. But I have to be honest, I saw this play out in my actual follow-up. I had a customer who has been a phenomenal quad customer of mine for years. She has kidney stones. So she said her doctor told her she had to get off the fruit and vegetables because it had whatever, you know, whatever it was, I can't even remember, phosphorus, I think, in it. So I said, well, you can stay on, you know, the omegas and the berries. And I said, I got to be honest, I don't believe Juice Plus is your issue. I think you're really pulling from your nutritional foundation by doing that, but at least stay on the omegas and berries. So I love this person and it breaks my heart. She's so sweet. I really want to be a little more forceful than I am with her because she's so sweet. I don't want to, there's a little bit of fear there of pushing too hard because she's a very sweet, kind person. So I had this follow up and I sent her a text, say, hey, it's time for your fruit and vegetables to ship out. So that I'm not hearing back from her. So anybody else kind of deal with a little, that's when I do feel a little fear if I'm like reaching out to someone who I know typically would respond. Well, she wasn't responding. So I waited a while. I reached out again. No response. So I reached out one more time and she came back and kind of told me what all was going on. I really wanted to confront the fact that one, she hadn't been faithful on the berries and the omegas, but two, she still was not getting the fruits and vegetables. Well, she had a huge reaction from, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here, but she had a big episode with kidney stones, which is why she had to get off the fruits and vegetables. So I wanted to say, well, how's that working? Still happening. Anyway, when I talked to her, she also tells me about her sister and what's going on with her sister who's on dialysis. And I remember the first thing I started doing was then begin telling her about one of my customers who was in stage 4 renal failure, got on Juice Plus. That was 15 years ago. She's not had any issues since. So I start telling that story, and instead of dealing with kind of what the elephant in the room of her not taking her Juice Plus, it actually it went well. And I said to her, can I talk to your sister? Because she needs Juice Plus too. And so I kind of got what the book was talking about. Sometimes maybe it's not, we don't go right in to the issue at hand, that sometimes whatever they're wanting to talk about it with them. And it really opened up an opportunity for me to show her Juice Plus is what you need. You don't need to be getting off the fruits and vegetables. That's not going to help anything. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting way. Not that we want to just call people and say, well, if you're not going to take Juice Plus, give me 5 names of people who will. That's not what we want to do. But I think it kind of helped me step back and see a bigger picture. And I just read that in the book. And so anyway, think about sometimes that rejection, it's approaching it. I think more of what he's saying is approaching it from a different angle, so that we're not going in head in first. When you go straight in, that's when you're going to get hit pushback. But sometimes working the perimeter is a better, softer way to go, and you still accomplish what you want to accomplish. Hopefully that one was a little hard one to get across. So hopefully that makes sense. How about sometimes we're in our own head thinking, oh, if I say this, they're just, all they care about is selling me their product, or this, that, or the other. How many people get inside your head sometimes and it holds you back from following up to people? I didn't like how they responded. I'm not sure that they're going to want to hear back from me. Anybody have some of those thoughts? Yeah, me too. So when that happens, when you're not wanting to follow up because there may be some insecurity there, we're inside our own head, we need to stop the thoughts about ourselves. And I don't know who said it, but I remember saying so many times we're worried about what people are thinking of us when they're too busy thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about us. So all this head stuff going on, it's because we're thinking about us and not them. What if we turn our focus to what do they need? What is it? What's their need, and what value can I bring to them? So who on your list of follow-up are you holding back because you're inside your own head? And how can you flip it and think about them and what they need, and what can I say that will resonate with them and bring value to them? That next one is, we're just simply insecure. I don't know enough. I'm a little nervous to start. Sometimes too, when we step back a ways and then we're trying to get back in, then it's all about, well, I got to get caught back up on what I need to know. Well, what's the remedy? Get in there and listen. I love, Edie, that you're talking about. You had a Dr. Mitra Ray that you are sending out to people. Here would be my challenge, and I do this to myself at the beginning of every week. I find a new video I haven't watched, and I watch it, and I take notes on it. And then I begin, and I guarantee it'll happen to y'all too. As I listen and I'm taking notes, what happens? Names start popping in my head. Ooh, I need to call so-and-so. I need to text so-and-so. I need to send so-and-so this video. Am I right? And so if you're feeling a bit insecure, like I've been out of it, or, thank you, Erin, for sharing earlier on our call, just kind of where things were. She's been through just some hard things she's had to walk through, but now it's getting back in. It's that insecurity that we all feel it when we step back a bit. So the best thing we can do, like Edie said, is get ourselves a video, listen to it, and then you're going to be excited because you've got some new knowledge to share with people. It gets you fired up. And when you listen and you've got something new to share, they're going to hear it in your voice. Not, hey, do you need some more? You need some Juice Plus? But if I've got some information, Information is powerful. How about desperation? Oh my gosh, my check's going down. I haven't been working and now I'm desperate. You know, nobody's attracted to desperation. And I know we all can feel that tinge when we've seen our check drop maybe. How do we overcome that? Let's start building our prospects. The first thing I would do is write out a new memory jogger. Well, I've got an old one. No, write out a new one. Who are the people you've most recently been in contact with? Those are the people you want to start with and begin connecting with. But if we feel that scarcity mentality, we got to build our contacts and our prospects. Back to Edie, thank you for what you shared. I keep going back to it. But Edie's saying, I got to build my network. I can't keep wearing out the same people. So where are you going to go to build your network? Take some time and write that down. Where's some places you can go to build your network? And then this one's probably my biggest one, and I kind of shared it on our leadership call. I have had a lot, and I'm realizing I spelled enough wrong. Sorry about that. Anyway, with my mom and taking care of her and her stuff, I almost have another job going on right now. I can focus on that and use that as an excuse. Or I can say, you know what? Yes, that's a big part of time and I want to do that. And I'm honored to be able to do that. But what I need to do is sometimes, kind of back to a point Brenda made on our leadership call, sometimes we get tired with all that's on our plate. So I've got to rearrange some things and put first things first. I've got to quit going to the easy thing of, I'd rather call Brenda and talk to Brenda. Or many of you on here, I'd rather do that because it's easier, it's more fun, there's no challenge to that. But I need to do first things first and challenge myself before I get going in my day. Have I connected with 2 prospects? Have I reached out to 2 new people? And that's where, when it comes to this, what stops me is I go to the easy versus what's hard. And so maybe that's you. Maybe you've got a shortened amount of time to work, but are you going to the tough stuff first? Do the tough stuff first, the easy. If we do the easy stuff first, it gets harder in the long run. We do the hard stuff now, it gets easier in the long run. So what's stopping us? Write it down. And if I don't have it listed, please share it with us here in a minute. Let's see, what time is it? It's 10 minutes. You know what? Even though I've got it more planned out, we may stop here because I want to hear from you guys on what's stopping us. We'll finish next week on this follow-up process. So I'm going to stop. We're going to make it short. Let me hear from you guys. What's stopping y'all when it comes to follow-up? Anybody like me, maybe your time frame shortened and you're doing the easy stuff first and not the hard stuff.
You want to stop the recording?
I thought I did. There we go.